What's up, guys? Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So a cool development happened in the last week or two. Nano Banana is now here for Photoshop natively. So I'm going to show you how to get started with it. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. Okay, so first off, this is available in Creative Cloud Desktop, specifically in the beta version. It's not in the currently released version, so you need to go download the beta. You can do that by going into your apps, clicking on beta, and selecting the option for Photoshop Beta and installing it. Note that obviously with a beta, that means it's not going to be 100% baked. It's still there for testing, but you can definitely test it out using this method. Okay, so the way that you can use this is you basically would select an area and then give it a description. So we could take this whole thing right here and just give it a description. But the nice thing about using Nano Banana inside of Photoshop is remember that Nano Banana in general is very low resolution. However, if you apply this to smaller areas, so say that we were to we're going to pick up this cabinet right here. And just for simplicity's sake, we'll do a shift click and we'll pick up this cabinet as well. But notice how you get this little box for generative fill. And in the case of generative fill, what you want to do is you want to click on it and then you want to click on this little icon right here. Yours will probably look like this, but we want to change it down to Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana right here. And that's going to give us access to Nano Banana inside of SketchUp or inside of Photoshop. So now, if we come in here and we type in change the wood finish of these cabinets to oak, maintain existing geometric detail and camera location, and then click on generate, it's going to go through, it's going to send this to Nano Banana, and it's going to try to make that change. And you can see it did exactly what we asked it to. It went in there and it changed the material of those cabinets, just like this. So super easy to do, super cool change. And so we can also use it across the whole thing. So if you wanted to, you could just draw a rectangular selection box right here and say, add some two-dimensional people models in here. So add some 2D people to this kitchen and click on generate. And it'll go through and it'll do that. And you could dictate if you wanted them to be sketch style, if you wanted them to be realistic looking, other things like that. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it broad and see what it puts in here. And so you can see that it goes through here and does exactly what we asked it to. Now, I don't necessarily like the chef guy, but you could rerun this prompt again in order to get some other people. But you can see how you can use this in order to add 2D people. So another thing I've used this for is I've also used this for adding things like trees in the background. So especially like two-dimensional trees and things like that. And so this gives you the ability not only to make changes to selected areas, but you could also do the whole thing just by dragging a rectangular select across the whole thing. And under generative fill, we could say, let's change this to a nighttime scene, add a realistic sky, and keep all geometric detail as is. We can click on generate, and that's going to go through and that's going to generate this. And one thing to note, at least as of right now, so through I think October 28th, this is not going to cost any credits or anything like that. So you can go through and you can try it out in the beta version. I think after October 28th, it's going to go against your generative credits. And I don't know how much generative credits are, but this is not something that's really surprising or anything like that. But just be aware that there will be limitations in the future against credits. Right now, I think if you have a pro license, there's like a 500 generation a day limit or something like that. But you will have to use credits in the future to use something like this, just like any other AI service. But in this case, so we've got this night scene right here. And let's say we wanted to add some vehicles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to select along this road. We'll go to generative fill and we'll say, add some sketch style cars on this road to match the overall style of this image. Maintain all other geometry and camera angles as is. We're going to click on generate, and it's going to go through it and it's going to generate vehicles along that road. And so again, one thing you have to be careful about is depending on where your selection is, it may cut off those vehicles in here. So again, if you want to get rid of those though, you can just select the mask and you can just paint out that portion of the mask right here. So it's pretty easy for things like vehicles in order to fix this, like this. And again, you can go through and you can also go into your selected mask and do that. So we could remove these just like this as well. So I'm going to click on OK, but now I've got vehicles along the road in my scene. And so another fun thing you can do with this is, let's say we were to add a layer on top right here. So I'm just going to right click and add a layer, but I'm just going to draw a couple lines. So in this case, I want a line here. We'll make it a red line, and I'll just draw a couple X's in here. But then on top of that, and you could probably take all of those and just merge them together like this. But then I'm going to do a selection. And I'm just going to say remove these two buildings and replace them with a park. We're going to click on generate right here. So it'll actually recognize where you put those red X's and it'll replace those buildings with something else. So in this case, it's going to be a park. And if you ever get a result that you don't like, you can just rerun the generate function right here, right? Because you see how this first one, it left my building in here, but the second time it removed these buildings and it placed a park over here. So you can regenerate in order to get different variations. But the cool thing is those other variations are still in here, right? So if you don't like your first generation, you can go back through and click on one of your old generations in order to select that as well. So it gives you the ability to make a couple different adjustments in here like this. You can see how I'm able to get a park in multiple different ways in here just by clicking on these options over here. All right, so overall, this is super cool, especially because Photoshop gives you a lot more control over where you're adjusting and what you're adjusting than the tools that you had before, right? If you put them in the simple AI studio, you couldn't really mark anything in order to tell it stuff, but in Photoshop, you definitely can. So if you do have a Photoshop license, you should definitely try downloading the beta and giving it a try. And let me know how it goes. I just love having that conversation with you guys. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.